All right. Little headphone problems over. You weren't able to hear.
That's fine.
Oh, it'll be all right.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
Well, good evening, everyone. We're here. Craig Blanton, myself. We're here with Cathy and Adam from Frankfort Plantboard. We just wanted to get an opportunity to get some good information out there, some accurate information, to follow up with the Jay Williams thing, which
Senator Williams.
Senator Williams.
Yeah, so they know that it's a government thing.
Right. And which seemed to create a lot of stir. A lot of people didn't know. Apparently, a lot of people didn't read articles. And
Yeah.
I mean, like a week before we did it, we got him on here because of the article in the State Journal, and then it unplugged, and or people watched the show, and it just the bottom fell out. And I guess it's good though that we brought a lot of awareness to it, and
It shows people are watching versus
right.
the other thing.
apparently more than the State Journal.
Yeah.
But we
we like to bring attention to things that are all about the plant board because the city owns the plant. This community owns the plant board,
Right.
and they need to know things that are going on with the plant board.
and that's probably a good place to start. I think that's where Craig wanted to start.
Yeah, that was going to be my first question, Kathy.
Okay.
Was,
Well,
Like,
bring it
who
on.
owns the plant board?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we always hear this.
The
It's a
city owns
pseudo
it.
government
Okay.
entity. There's all kinds
Yeah.
of bad information out there.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Cathy, Lindsey. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing for the Frankfort Plantboard, and I appreciate you inviting us to come on here. And I wanted to bring Adam Hellard with me because when we talk about an expert in the room, I'm not going to claim to be the expert in the room.
Me neither.
That's
Not
why I'm
this.
bringing Adam.
Well, we got both sides covered, right? You got the information. He knows, or the business information.
Adam
He knows
is,
the
is
technical.
our superintendent of telecom at the Frankfort Plant
Right.
Board, so I figured who better to bring.
Perfect.
So, so you're asking about who owns the plant board?
yeah, because you hear, I talk to a lot of people at Da Vinci's, and
Mm-hmm.
and every now and then they'll see plant board people in there, or I'll sit down and
Yeah,
talk to them during
sure.
lunch. And sometimes people say the city owns a plant board. The others say plant board's a special purpose government entity, or they're a standalone, their own little kingdom, and nobody controls them. And I
That's
said,
not true.
I know. Yeah, I know that.
We know
I'm
this
just,
now.
I'm just passing along what people
Sure.
will say.
Yeah.
The misinformation or
I'm happy to clear
lack
it up.
of information, I guess, is the better. So, yeah, go ahead, please.
Well, first of all, when the question is who owns the plant board, I can say you own the plant board and you own the plant board if you're customers.
Yep,
Customers
I
of
am.
the plant board. I'm a customer of the plant board. So we all own the plant board.
I'm a
because-
multi-customer.
There you go. Because we are a public utility, which means that we're nonprofit. So everything, all of the rates of our ratepayers that comes in, that money isn't going anywhere else. It's not going to shareholders like a private company. It's coming back into the system. It's paying the people who work there. It's paying to have all of our systems maintained because we do electric, water, telecom, and then just some other services that came along with the full service network. The plant board was created. Actually, the plant board's been around a long time, since water was at Cove Spring, which is back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting a charter ended up signing it in 1943. That's when the Frankfort Electric and Water.
I bet most people don't know that,
Yeah.
but it's been that long.
It's been 80 years. We just celebrated 80 years this year. We're very proud of that because it's 80 years of service to this community and our community owning it. And we talk about being community owned, and we've talked about local control, which Senator Williams says there's no local control right now. There is.
Can you define local control?
Yeah. We are, our board is appointed by the mayor and the city commissioners. Again, we're a public utility, which means we have open meetings, open records, anything that you want to see as a customer owner, even if you're not a customer owner. You can call us up and say, I want to see your budget from 2019. I want to see your budget today. I
And
want
then
to
what
see
do
your
you
budget
do?
for
You
the
mail
next
it
5
to them
years.
or email it to them or something?
Whatever you want.
Because I know, like I've seen water quality reports
Water quality reports.
from the river where
Yeah.
something, like when the bourbon come down the river,
Yeah.
or there's been a spill of something up there,
Yeah.
Y'all will send those reports out, and somehow I got them or something.
Yeah.
I'm one of them nerdy kind of people that reads that stuff.
That's because you're one of our owners.
Yeah.
So, so again, it's one of those things that, local control means our community, we're customer owned. That's one thing that we have been touting. We're customer known because we all live here. All of our employees live here. We work here. Our kids go to school here. We go to church here. We shop here. So we're customer known and we're customer owned. And if you have a problem with your any one of your services, you can walk into our office anytime. You can call us 24/7. We have local people who answer the phone 24 hours a day,
So
7 days a week.
so it is local people now,
Local people.
because it was before
Not anymore.
in Kansas City
For
or somewhere.
several years, we've had our local network operations center, which is located in the basement of our FPB building. They're on Flint Avenue, and they're there all the time. It's manned
Do
all
they
the
got
time.
windows? Most computer places don't have
They
windows.
do not.
Not if they're in the basement.
A lot of TVs.
A lot
Yeah,
of TVs.
okay, yeah.
They're checking out things that are happening. So, and I do want to point out, when Senator Williams was on, he kept making the statement that Frankfort Plantboard does not have the authority to operate telecom services. That's not correct. So I just want to talk about that for a minute. In 1999, the City Commission passed an ordinance, number 20, which approved FPB's operation of our full-service network, which is, you want to say what all that is?
That includes internet, cable TV.
Get a little closer to your mic.
Oh,
there.
sorry, internet, cable TV, security, our high-speed, some of our high-speed data customers or dedicated internet customers. All those services are all under FSN.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was approved as a city ordinance in
By the
1999.
commission and the mayor from
By
then.
the City Commission, ordinance number 20, as a public project under KRS 58.010.
Yeah, Eric asked me about that today, and I
Yeah.
said, well, I sent him
couldn't
the
find
side
it.
for the ordinances.
Well,
But,
now you have it.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know where to look.
So, so that is how we have the authority to operate in telecom services. We've been doing cable since 1952.
Right. Well, when I moved here from Harlan when
Yeah.
I was 6, of course, we didn't have TV down there because we lived in a holler for, mountain on this side, mountain on this, railroad tracks, and we really lived in a holler.
Yeah.
But then when I'm 6 and I moved to Beechwood Trail and in Crestwood, we had cable TV.
Yeah.
I thought we had Cincinnati, Louisville, and Lexington.
That's how
I hated
that's how
losing.
living in the city.
Yeah, I hated losing those Cincinnati channels. But WXIX and I forget what the others were.
Yeah.
But
So
I remember that.
yeah. So that's where we have that telecom authority. We also have telephone tariffs on file with the Kentucky Public Service Commission, the PSC. They've been approved. And so until Senator Williams' recent statements, our authority has never been questioned. And quite frankly, I don't know why it's being questioned now. So,
Well, like when something went on with the city and they needed help with the legislature, they hired a lobbyist. Y'all going to hire a lobbyist, I guess?
we are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to, I
I
reckon,
mean,
right?
I'm not going to keep it a
You
secret.
got to, right?
Right.
We are,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have
I mean,
to.
you kind of got to.
I mean, it is our responsibility to protect our customers, our ratepayers. And anything that is going to detract from our ability to focus on the best interests of our ratepayers, we have to go all out to do that.
Well, you told me that you're not going to be the one interviewing the candidates next year.
I'm not going to be doing Meet
Y'all
the
got-
Candidates
y'all
anymore.
got
We're going to have to
somebody
bring
else
in a
doing
third
that.
party because
David won't do it or nothing? David, Columbia?
we're not going to have any FPB people doing it because we're going
I'll
to
do it.
focus on the interests of FPB.
I'll do it. Well, I might know a little
And-
about politics, maybe a
I
little.
know, well, I can
Maybe.
take you on,
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah.
So, so we're going to be focused on lobbying efforts and possibly campaigning efforts to find candidates that are in support of FPB. Because we're a strong bloc. We have 200 employees and their families whose interests lie in the future of FPB.
Right. Well, the whole county's interests lie
They
in the future
absolutely
of
do.
FPB.
Absolutely.
Because where I live out in Huntington Woods, we'd have nothing.
Yeah.
And when John Higginbotham was there, I was at the cable office there by East Frankfort Park, and
Yeah.
he said, "Well, we're getting ready to put internet out at your place."
Yeah.
I said, "Cool, I'll be customer number one."
Absolutely.
So I was customer
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
They hooked us up quick.
And, just, elephant in the room, people talk about, and Senator Williams has indicated to people that this shouldn't be any problem because people don't like the plant board.
We were talking about
I'm going to argue with him on that. First
Everybody-
of all,
yeah.
people don't like their utilities or their cable company. They have to pay them money. And it's just, nobody likes that. I don't like that.
But
But we have local service.
if you got good customer service,
Yeah.
which is the whole key to
Yeah.
every business.
Yeah.
If you've got good customer service, so you say it's in-house now.
Yeah.
And they can be reached 24 hours
Yeah.
a day. And I'll attest as a business customer, we had some internet issues,
Mm-hmm.
and they were there within an hour.
Yeah.
Now, we fed them when they were done.
I bet
don't-
they ate.
I bet they did. I don't know if it's because, I said, boys, get this done quick. I'm going to take care of y'all.
Well,
But they work fast.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to say that as as a business owner, we do business to business IT. We only deal with other businesses, and there's been multiple times that I'll call and just ask directly for the IT department. I don't want to go through all the turn it on, turn it off, because I've already done all that.
You don't want to reboot?
I don't want to reboot, and if they can't, if those guys can't find something wrong,
Yeah.
they get a truck out to us in like an hour.
Yeah.
Every time. I mean, be it Frankfort Country Club, be it Everyday Matters. There's
Yeah.
been multiple times we call,
Yeah.
and they'll come out, and they're really responsive. And we, as a business, have converted a lot of people from not liking the plant board to liking the plant board. And this is a huge problem I see in residential. People will go get your 250 by 10 internet and want it to be nice and fast. They won't upgrade any equipment.
You have to.
They'll go to
Gotta upgrade
Walmart.
equipment.
Yeah, they'll go to Walmart, buy a $59 wireless router, and expect it to cover their 3,500 square foot house.
Yeah.
Like you're behind the eight ball, and they put your name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like just pay
that's-
for the Eero or
Yeah, that's why we stepped into the wireless inside the house
Mm-hmm.
because 90% of the trouble calls are actually inside the house, it's
And completely
if
not related to
right,
you.
If we stop, then it's
Yeah.
like the customer's
That's
not
true.
satisfied.
That's a big point.
And we've tried to do like an educational campaign, communication to say, it's best, to put your equipment here and not here, and upgrade your equipment. I mean, because those things become obsolete after a while, and the more devices you add,
Right.
you're just
or make sure your cable modem's up to date.
Yeah.
Like you've got a cable modem adequate enough to handle the
Yeah.
speed.
Well, let me tell you, if you get fiber, you don't have any problems. I've had it for 2 years now. 2 years.
You had fiber at your house?
Next band. I was a tester.
Oh, a tester.
Yeah.
Are you a heavy user at home? I'm a
I have
massively
a
heavy.
12-year-old, and
I'm a massively heavy.
she's always on. We stream a lot. We watch movies. We don't have. She's a gamer, but she just does like Roblox and.
Well, Adam, how long would it take to download a 2-hour movie on the fiber at 500 up and down? It's pretty damn fast, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it really depends on where you're going
Yeah.
to get the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's a
there's a couple websites you can go to, and they'll say, okay, if it's a gig file, it's going to take X amount of time. It just depends on where it's coming from. So.
And that's more in Eric's area than my area.
I got to test the 100 meg when you all first did that before it was even. I mean, it wasn't even approved by the board yet.
Yeah.
And because I won't mention his name, but the guy who was in charge of IT over there, we did a lot of business with the plant board at Farmers Bank, and it was actually because of us that you got Windstream over on 60, because we were doing our wide area network, and we worked with John, and we accepted the bid on that, which helped get that facility built out. It helped you all cost justify it because you couldn't spend the money at the time because there wasn't enough demand for it. And then we instantly created the demand for it. But yeah, I got to test that, and I was really happy because that was when I was talking to Adam earlier. It was 30 meg, and you were having bandwidth issues there, and people don't realize how long it takes to get high speed
To turn up a circuit.
a circuit. And if you can get it done in 8 weeks, it's generally really good. So I was happy to be a guinea pig on that one.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, like I got what no one else has.
I talked to Commissioner Waldridge about some stuff.
Sure.
Talk to those guys all the time, and she said that, that's why I was asking about excess fees or something, and you said you're a nonprofit. She tried to get some funds to excess fees y'all had before coronavirus or something to build a pool or something like that. And
I don't know anything about it.
because I brought it up because the county clerk turns over $600 to $1 million to the fiscal court every year. Sheriff's office turns over 10 or 20,000, or sometimes up to 70. And I know that was one of the things Jay said, or Senator Williams said, was the plant board could build a park with their extra money.
Like when you all have excess fees.
I wish we had extra money.
Well,
the
that's
extra
what
money that
well,
we've
that-
had in the past 3 years, we've given back to our customers.
Right.
We
Now,
sent
if
back
you-
rebates.
Right.
Well,
so
that's
you
what-
do that in rebates.
Because
and that's
that
what
money belongs
Waldridge
to
was talking
them.
That's
about.
what Patricia, Senator.
Like it was like
Commissioner-
$30 or $36 per
Yeah, she got
customer.
like 30
For our 20,000 customers. And
Right.
that was for,
So-
and that includes our electric customers,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. And that includes our industrial customers who got more than that.
Right. So
It's based on your usage.
So what Patricia wanted, instead of giving me back 36, giving Eric back 36,
Yeah.
or whatever it was,
Yeah.
use that whole pool of money and build something
Well,
like
Reinvested into the community.
Yeah, like
Can
Wild
that
Turkey.
be done?
Could you have a Frankfort Plantboard park or a Frankfort Plantboard
if,
pool?
If the board wanted to do that, if we had the money to do that, we rarely find cases.
Right.
We had that much savings at that time because we had just moved our power supplier from KU to KYMEA, which saved us a lot of money at the time. And so we took that savings as we had promised our customer owners that we would, and we returned it to them. It's their money.
Yeah.
They're the owners. You're the owners.
But would it have been, as Commissioner
If
Walters
those
said,
if we had customers or some of our owners come to our meeting and say, "I don't want my rebate. Let's do what
how
we
many
can."
customers would have to come?
I don't know.
I mean, if
We didn't have any.
Yeah, well, I know you don't.
It takes more than zero.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. I've came to a couple when y'all met up on the plant board party room.
yeah, that's been probably more than 10 years ago. I've
Yeah,
been there
it's a long
7
time.
years, and,
Yeah.
and we've
So
never met there.
so it's just like
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
clubhouse. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
so 100 people show up at a city commission meeting, and
Yeah.
the commissioners still vote the opposite of what those 100 want.
Yeah.
How-
We never have anybody come to plant board meetings
Right.
when they're
Is it-
welcome to
is it-
come.
Right. Is it because they don't think it'll do any good?
I don't know. You have to ask them. I mean, we've had things where we have changed our plans because a group of people said we don't want that. Look at Tanglewood. Look at the
I was
reservoir.
going to bring up Tanglewood.
I mean, we talk about how we're autonomous. We're not autonomous. If we were autonomous, we would have built that tank a lot cheaper
And bigger
than we
too,
did.
right? And bigger, larger. You'd
I
build
mean,
it bigger
the
too,
city
correct?
commission stepped in and said you can't do that.
But you would have built it bigger too, because didn't you shrink the size
No,
to 2 tanks or something like
we
that?
went from 2 tanks to 1,
Yeah.
and we went to the size that we wanted. We wanted to do a more domed
right.
roof because it's cheaper, and the people in Tanglewood wanted the flat roof because it wouldn't be as visually obtrusive.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, we're about saving money for the
Right,
ratepayers,
yeah.
and there was millions of dollars of difference.
Yeah, and I can't say nothing because I don't live there.
Yeah.
You know.
So we had a plan. The city commission stepped in and said, "No, you can't do that."
Because
So-
they got calls from
Because
customers
they govern
at
us.
Tanglewood.
They can do that.
So they
Now,
can,
do they
if
govern
we were
all business
autonomous-
entities?
so they can stop a project.
They did stop a project.
Stop that project.
Yes, they did. So, and then we went through mediation with Tanglewood, and we're happy to do that
Mm-hmm. I remember
because
reading all
again,
that stuff.
they're our customer owners.
Right.
Yeah.
And we came up with a compromise. We didn't do the full dome. We did a half dome. We ended up putting
Relocated satellite dishes.
relocated
moving
satellite
the
dishes.
tower.
We did landscaping. We let them help out with the landscaping, what they wanted in their neighborhood,
Moved the
because that's
parking lot.
what we do. We're a municipal utility. We're a public utility. We want to hear from you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I remember that was
Yeah.
a lot of
do
stuff
too.
going on.
Proud.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
stuff
mean,
going
and
on.
it was. I mean, and it wasn't the cheapest way to go.
No.
But yeah,
Not even close, I
But
guess.
it was, again, because, you know, we want to know what our customers think, and this was in their neighborhood.
Then let me ask a water question, if you can answer it.
I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
just see.
Okay.
Like when I was on Farmdale Water Board, we had this for our 2,600 customers. We had to have enough water. If the system failed or we couldn't get water from you all, we had to have a day and a half of water.
Oh,
So we built another tank because we had 3 days, which still that don't even seem. I'd put water towers up all over his town so that you would have water, because in the future we're not going to have water as much probably. But is there a rule that says you all got to have X amount of days of water for the community? I don't even know if you can answer that. That's just a curious question from me.
I don't know.
we've never had an issue with lack of water.
Yeah.
We have plenty of capacity
Right.
as it is now. When we went through the reservoir process, we had studies done
Mm-hmm.
as to what our expectations for, you know, what we needed to have, and we by far exceed that.
Through your engineers, because PSC doesn't govern y'all, right? Like they governed us at Farmdale Water District. We had to go meet with them all the time.
Well,
Yeah, PSC doesn't tell y'all what to do like they did
well,
us.
that, I mean, there are some things they do. Again, like we have telephone tariffs on file with them that they have approved. But as far as this goes, we have multiple.
I think the water is under PSC because we've talked about doing rate increases on
Yeah, 'cause-
wholesale.
right.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we
Because
don't say
yeah,
from the PSC.
they made us raise our rates. We had a lot of money in the bank, and Public Service Commission sent us a nastygram and said, "Hey, you got to come meet with us." And they analyzed all our data that we sent out there and said, "You need to raise your rate. You're
Yeah.
not making enough money." I
Yeah.
said, and it was like the first time the rates have been raised in 45 years, yet we were still showing a profit.
Yeah. Our the PSC does review our wholesale rates with water districts.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I brought
right.
my notes.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what we had to deal with because we were getting our water from you
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Okay. All right.
We're not the Wild West out there, Craig.
Right. I'm
By any means.
Hey, I know a lot of these questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the answers to a lot of
Yeah.
these questions because I've interacted with Plant Board for so
Sure.
long. But a lot of people don't. That's why I'm asking these questions. It's not that
Love
I
it.
don't know them.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to share it with all the people that
I'm
are
here to
watching
share as
today
well.
and everything else. So there's no excess fees, no profits. We got that done. Out in Huntington Woods on 151, Huntington Woods, South Benson. Know where I'm talking about? Yeah. The two little loops in between have never had internet.
Right.
So some buddies of mine that live there, one of them a retired Lexington police officer, says, "Can you call the plant board and see why in the hell we can't get copper, even just copper internet there?" And so I did, and they said it's just too expensive. We'll get fiber out there when it's right when y'all were starting fiber. And he said they're running fiber all over town, and we still don't have no kind of internet here, but it's in Huntington Woods.
It's that outer loop.
A half a mile. It's a half a mile from Huntington Woods. And I was just told it was too, so I called Chris and said, "Hey, man, they just said it's too expensive."
Yeah, I mean, the HFC network, the hybrid fiber coax, that's where it's fiber to a node, and we change over to coax. There's limitations there. Mm-hmm. And that is part
Distance
of it.
limitations?
Distance limitations once we convert back over to coax. And that's one reason that area wasn't served.
But they'll
Now,
get fiber.
When fiber comes, those limitations, lot
They should get fiber
Right.
on those two little roads there, right?
right.
Okay. 'Cause-
And they really weren't a part of any grants because when we the Hickory Ridge grant that we applied for, we're kind of going to build out there anyway to make a loop, so we would pick
right.
them up at that point.
Behind the landfill.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were going to pick
Avon
them up
Stoke and all
anyway,
that.
so
Do they have internet now in Avon Stoke and Hickory Ridge?
No.
No? Okay.
that's part of our grants that we applied for.
Wow. Okay. And then we talked about, is there a website that people can see the progress of the laying of fiber throughout the county? So
That's a project that's in the work, and like I mentioned earlier, during COVID and the startup of the process, and we had some contractors that went by the wayside. We had to bring new ones on, and so our schedule were kind of sliding all over the place. We had met a couple months ago, and we're going to try to put something on our webpage so that we can show progress.
there's a lot of people
where
thought-
we're at, where we're going. So if you go to our website now, you can put your address in, and it'll tell you if it's available. But
Right.
we're going to do this on the front side to say this is where these are proposed construction areas and these are the phases.
And timelines that they, like District 5 for transportation does as they're repairing the interstate. They send stuff out every week saying what roads are going to be, what's going on here, here, and here.
And so what we do now, though, since we do not have a website, any kind of construction that we do, like, we have some underground crews placing conduit, we put mailers out in front of those crews. Or, any crews that are working in the areas, we try to mail those addresses where we're going to be so customers know that we're coming to the area and this is what we're doing, this is what to expect. If you have concerns, all of our trucks, even the contractors, have logos on the side. They're the next band. They have ID badges, and so.
If you see a big spool of orange cable,
That's conduit. Yeah,
that's conduit for
the
fiber.
underground. Yes, sir.
So that should get them excited seeing that truck roll up there, because that's what clued me in.
Yeah.
When I saw them going down Leawood, so I went over and talked to the guys, and they were boring under the parking lot to go down Leawood.
You'll usually see about a week before that a lot of paint on the ground, especially if it's underground.
Right,
And that's where they're calling in all the locates to
Before
mark
you dig.
everything up.
Yeah, before you dig.
Because we get a lot of calls about that.
Yeah.
Hey, there's orange paint, green paint, and it's like, okay, this is what's going on.
Yeah, so if they got a place to go to, then that'll stop all the phone calls and the complaining. When it's 10 years before it gets
well,
out here.
and right now, what people can do is you can go to nextband.com. It'll take you to a page, and there's a place where you can type in your address to see if Nextband
Right.
is
I've
available
done
in
that,
your
yeah.
area.
I do that about every other week.
And then it comes up, and if it's not, it says, "Oh, bummer."
Right.
But you can leave your contact information so that when it is available in your area, we will contact you and let you know.
Adam, can you pull the micro or scooter?
I've
up?
already
sorry.
addressed it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
while you were talking.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
So, if it is something you're interested, you can leave your contact information there, and we will let you know when it's available in your area. Timeline, I'll leave that up to those guys.
Yeah.
Right.
But we try to make information available.
you hear a lot of rumors of when it's coming here and there.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking Adam.
And something that I have learned that I get questions about when I'm out doing things and people ask me, they're like, "Oh, well, I've seen them in our neighborhood."
right.
And I think so does that mean they're close? And what I've learned is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we have two different things. We have the construction guys that come in and dig or do whatever and
So-
then the other guys have to come in and do something afterwards.
Yeah, so if it's an underground, we have a separate contractor that places the conduit. Mm-hmm. So, and that contractor is about 18 months ahead of schedule.
So
they're
folks-
actually by the
So
end
folks
of the
get excited.
So do you hear that, folks?
So by the
18
end,
months ahead of schedule.
Right.
When
So
you hear
at the
a
end of the
government
month-
entity being ahead of anything.
at the end of the month, they will have placed all the conduit in the ground for the entire project by the end of November.
So I'll have it out in Huntington Woods.
If you're
Well, then
underground
here's
now,
the second part.
I'm under. Well,
well, you're aerial underground, so your aerial utilities are underground to your house. That's
Right.
that's a little
I'm
bit
under-
different.
I'm
So-
underground to my
right.
house.
So basically, what they're doing is attacking all the underground subdivisions.
gotcha.
And so when they complete that, as our build out schedule goes, there's another crew that actually comes in and they actually put the fiber in, they splice everything up, and then at that point we're ready to take orders, and then that's when we actually go in and do the installs.
Okay.
So
Are they
and
gonna
we've
work-
had to answer that, but the thing is we feel we have some really good pricing on our underground contracting right now, and we want to get as much done because in the marketplace we're in now, especially with the amount of money coming down for broadband, it's $64 billion.
Yeah, there's just tons. Yeah.
We're nervous about the labor rate, and so we want to move as fast as we can while we have a good labor rate for underground. So if we
How
can
do you
move,
how do you get that money, Cathy? Is it that the president, they send all this money, all these billions for internet because they
Yeah.
want to wire the whole country?
you have to apply for it.
it's a couple
So
hundred pages.
Is it a grant? Is it a grant?
It's a grant.
So y'all have a grant writer that
We
fills
don't.
those?
Adam and me and my David Denton and
Oh, really?
It was
So
a
y'all
group
have-
effort. This actually, the county grants were the first grants that the telecom department ever applied for.
yeah, we've never relied on assistance, federal assistance or something.
Well, rely on it now because there's just
There's a
truckloads.
lot, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
truckloads
there's
of money.
millions. Menifee County, which is in the middle
Yeah.
of nowhere, has gig fiber all over it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
know
take
what it is.
I
Yeah.
would take every dollar they would give.
Yeah. Well, we tried to take as much as we could get this last round.
Yeah, we were doing good.
So we were doing great.
Would it be a good idea to hire a grant writer?
Well, we've been pretty
I was
successful.
going to say, we did our own.
We
and
were
got
11
all
for
11
11.
that we applied for.
Yeah. Yeah, because, well, okay. I mean, as long as you get them, but
I mean-
keep going after them.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
that's the,
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, it's,
We've been going to conferences where they have experts there to talk about the best way to get the bead money and how it's going to work. And we will say this bead money is going to have a lot more strings attached to it, and so it's going to take a lot of work.
yeah.
a lot of paperwork to get it.
Yeah, and it actually increased the cost. I mean, there's some environmental studies that have to be done for some of the bead money, and so you're looking at hiring a different
Because we'll
engineering type.
disturb a weed or something.
That's just part of the applications, and so those are increased costs, and so that does hurt.
I guess that's where early people probably circumvented some of that.
The ARPA money that's a part of the 11 grants that we applied for had a whole lot less red tape, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
'Cause you wanna
and
get
we
it-
jumped on it because, again, we're trying to get service to
Has
our county
anybody,
as much as possible.
if there's environmental concerns, would environmentalists sue y'all to say you can't do this because you're going to disturb a weed or a frog or something?
I mean, anybody can sue anybody. I don't
I
know.
know that, but I mean,
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's just part of the some of the requirements that we're seeing with the BEAD program.
Yeah. Do you all attend city commission meetings? I mean, do y'all have to report to the city commission?
If they call us to be on the agenda, we absolutely would be
So
there.
y'all don't like set up once a month and go say, hey, this is what we've done and all this?
Not to this. I mean, we would if they asked us to. I'm sure we come anytime they ask us for an update.
Yeah.
we do
Do you
provide
go?
an update to them by email.
Do you go?
Sometimes I go. Sometimes I watch it on cable 10 because
Yeah.
we air them all
Yeah.
live.
Well, I mean, I knew that. I mean, I've seen her there.
But
pe-
yeah, I go.
people
We
just,
have again our cable 10 crew is there every time.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Cable 10 crew does the city commission meetings, but they don't do fiscal court, right?
They do fiscal
fiscal
court.
They do
Court,
fiscal
They
court
do.
also.
Yeah. All of that would be gone, by the way, if they sold off telecom, because that would include cable 10
Yeah.
services.
So that means no football games. Like
No football games?
I watched Frank County's football game
No
last Friday.
pageants. No high school sports.
No county fairs.
No county fairs. No city meetings. No county meetings. No ARB. No planning session.
Optimus, Rotary, Kiwanis.
All the civic clubs. Dance recitals.
So what's your reach out into the county? I mean, we talked about your number of customers, and do people realize how deep, how embedded you are in Franklin County?
Yes, so I think there's right at 28,000 address points in Franklin County. And today the plant board reaches almost 26,000 with cable service today, cable and internet service today. Little 91+% is what we touch today.
And do you have a small business rate versus a large business rate? Remember
Yeah,
what-
we have dedicated internet service versus cable modem or
Like at my business, we talked about before you got here, Cathy. I said,
I think it's personal. doesn't it?
hey, I'm taking advantage of the opportunity.
Okay.
I understand.
You know.
Yeah, and
He
no,
brings
we have we have those rates for a reason, and we are local, and so I would hope that if you called with a problem, that we're going to be there within the hour and hopefully have your problem resolved.
Yeah,
And-
I was just talking of a data usage thing. Like
Oh.
I'll use way more data at home than I would ever use at Da Vinci's.
Right.
But we pay twice at Da Vinci's what we do at home.
Yeah, and it's really not about the amount of data you use.
because you have
it's about
priority.
the service.
We do have the
Yeah,
priorities there.
And you are a more expensive customer to take care of because of giving you that priority service on the business side.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
And is there some questions on here? I
Yeah.
see a lot of
I'm just
stuff
waiting
on-
for you to take a breath.
Well, I was just going to. You said let's get to these questions on the phone.
Yeah, we had a couple,
Questions. Okay.
and some I can,
Jolene Vega asked a question. I know.
Okay.
Get to it.
I'm gonna mute him.
Y'all unmute me.
Just pause him.
Pause. Jolene Vay asked, has Senator Williams provided hard numbers or real figures for cost increase and rates rising? In the event that something happened that the telecom side was sold.
If we sold telecom, and again, we don't know.
I said I don't know if anybody would know a hard answer on rates. What
Not
the
a hard
rates
answer
would.
on rate. I can give you an idea of what would happen.
Okay.
Well, first of all, again, with Senator Williams, I mean, he's talked about, that we need to sell telecom. And I'm
Which sounds like a good idea if you get $50 or $100 million. Wait a minute.
but
No,
that's
no,
not-
no. I know.
Okay.
Let me set this up
Okay.
because I want to give you a chance to say what I know you want to say about it.
Okay.
People think if you get 50 or 100 million, and I fell into this, and this is why I know.
Yeah.
That's $100 million, and that's the number. And like Adam and I were talking earlier, until somebody puts a check in front of you,
Yeah.
it's fluff.
Yeah.
But it does sound good. It's like, well, what can you do with $100 million? But Cathy, explain to people
Okay.
in this pie in the sky, somebody gives you $100 million check,
Yeah.
and somebody else now owns the telecom side.
Okay.
And we can wrap into that the other expectations from Stephanie's
Okay.
question.
Well, there won't be $100 million. I mean, or whatever they pay for it.
When that check for
When that
$100
check
million comes in,
it won't be that because, and I have my notes, an analysis of the sale price, it has to consider the debt that that line of business carries. And, FPB, we run 3 lines of business. We have electric, we have water, and we have telecom. They all run independently. They don't fund each other. So whatever debts the telecom department has would have to be paid off. Right now, again, each line of business is self-sustaining, and even when we use company resources to finance projects, it's through interdepartmental loans. So, like, if we borrow money from the electric company to do something in telecom, it has to be paid back to the electric company because we have different customers in each of our lines of business. We can't let just our electric customers pay for a cable service that they may not even take.
right.
That's
So it's
because
not-
we're a public utility.
Right. It's not like you're selling electric as cheap as you can
Right.
because telecom is subsidizing everything that the
No.
electric does.
Yeah, no. It's all
Separate.
self-sustaining.
3 different line items in a budget.
Yes.
Yes, 3 different. Yeah, almost 3 different
Yeah.
budgets.
So
Yeah.
you cannot move money from water over to this line and then
No.
it stops.
No,
No, it would have to be.
it has to
gotta
be.
pay-
It has to be a
you gotta
loan.
pay-
They become
right.
their own bank.
It's a loan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yes. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Then the second thing is, if forced to sell, the Kentucky Public Pension Authority would want their cut because we would lose employees and retirees. It would insist that they absorb the costs for our employees and retirees, and because we're under the county retirement system, we're under CERS.
So would you have to fund
Right.
the
Unfunded
retire
liability. Yeah.
Yeah.
for the retirees
Yeah.
that are already retired,
It's that number's not known.
or people that would be eligible to retire
Yeah.
at the time that
Yeah.
happen?
But it could easily be in the area of $20 million.
But nobody
I mean, for the
at this juncture in time, nobody
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
knows what that
don't know
number
what
is.
the hard number is,
Right.
but just looking
so
at
we're talking about a windfall keeps shrinking,
Well, we're 20% down,
and then who's gonna spend that money?
right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean,
I mean, it won't.
Where's that money gonna go?
It won't be in Frankfort.
according to Senator Williams, it would go to the city, but I guess it doesn't have to go to the city. You're not obligated
I
to
don't
give
know.
it to the
I
city.
haven't seen a bill.
Yeah.
Well,
wait till-
no one's seen the bill, right?
I don't know. We've asked for a bill.
There's this elusive
We've been
bill
denied.
that doesn't exist.
So I mean, who knows?
Right.
And have y'all watched our city commission meetings?
I don't miss them.
Okay.
I watch every
How
one.
long does it take them to spend money and to do things and
To spend money, it takes them no time at all.
well to actually start to end do a project?
Right. Well,
Well, I
and
gotta
that
do-
was the thing too is okay, I guess if legislation came along and you
Yeah.
were forced to sell, that's one thing. The timeline
Is
of
that what the legislation's going to be?
no one knows, right?
Yeah.
But if the board elected to sell that line of business off,
Yeah.
We'd still get a vote on it, right?
I mean,
Well,
it wouldn't
okay,
happen
can we come
overnight.
back to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Right
so-
now, as it is, we talk about the community has a vote right now. If the community wants to sell off telecom, it can be put on the ballot. It has to be put on the ballot because the community owns us. I don't know what kind of legislation Senator Williams is going to do, and I'm assuming at some point we'll find out. It could be he could totally take it out of our hands, and he talked about some kind of legislative authority. Well, that takes it out of the community's hands. If I were in the community, and I am because I've been a FEB customer for 40 years or more, I would be mad that you're going to take away that right from me,
right.
to say whether I want to own my utility company or
What
not.
became interesting to me in recent days after thinking about that, the combined electric and water plant boards covered under KRS, the 96, 171 to 188.
Right.
The telecom side is not. Wait,
Okay.
in our earlier conversation, you were given authority to do that by the city.
City ordinance.
Right.
By city ordinance. I can start an internet company and sell internet if I wanted, as long as I'm paying my rates and tariffs and all that I'm
Absolutely.
supposed to pay.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't see how legislation, since the telecom side
Okay.
isn't under KRS, it's under the authority of the city and the ratepayers.
Right.
How can they force you to sell it without making an impact on many, many, many small providers throughout the state?
That's a great question. Another one that
Three in this area that I can think of, like Shelby Broadband. There's
Yeah.
was it Frankfort Fiber or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you guys are not any different than that, other than
from
size.
what I can gather is because Senator Williams kept mentioning that we're the only utility that operates
Under that KRS.
under that KRS and with that city ordinance.
For those two services,
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
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 But you've already listed the city ordinance that says
Yeah. Right.
the city of Frankfort says we can do this here
Right.
for the community.
Right.
And
So, again, with the legislative change, again, he's saying that we're under legislative authority. He's a legislator. I'm assuming that that he could do whatever he wanted if they had the votes.
but telecom isn't under legislative authority; they're under city authority.
Right. That's what he's getting at.
Yeah, but couldn't he change that? That's why he's meeting with all of the city commissioners to tell them this is a good thing, and he's shining, or he's putting the big pile of cash in front of them and saying, don't stand in the way of this because you're gonna
So
get this
could
pile of
this-
And
cash.
the comments that
So, second thing, we don't know that that's what his legislation is going to be.
nobody knows.
Second, maybe the legislation is going to be, if he gets the mayor and the city commissioners on board, to reorg the plant board and write legislation that puts us under something else, like the city,
So be like the sewer department.
like the sewer department. Make FBB a department in the city. If they do that, the community doesn't have a vote on if they sell us or not.
Could the city afford to take on that much retirement?
Don't know. It's a great question. So if the legislation is to reorg the plant board and put us under city control, which is what Senator Williams is calling local control, which is city control, then the city could sell us anytime they wanted and not put it on the ballot. Is that what our community wants?
I guess you'd find out on the vote, wouldn't you?
Right.
Well, now they wouldn't have
Well,
a
they
vote.
wouldn't have a vote.
That's what we're saying. Is
Yeah.
if they put us under the city, then the city could do what they want. There
Oh,
wouldn't be a
okay.
Yeah.
referendum vote
There
at that
would
point.
be no referendum voting.
It would be.
So
you'd have a bad
that's-
election year. You could.
So that's why we're
Yeah.
on the defense and now
Before-
on the
well,
offense.
Well, and Craig and I, we were talking in text, and when the post was made on the plant board's website to keep it local or whatever it was that you listed. There was 12 points listed there.
Yeah.
And the city commissioner and mayor was listed on there with contact information.
Right.
And, my confusion was, why is that on there if they don't control? But to your point, if he is trying to do that and go through the commissioners,
Yeah.
then the people who vote for those people need to make their voice heard.
They need to, yeah,
Call
absolutely.
your commissioners. Call all of them.
Absolutely.
And
So it could be a campaign issue next year.
It will be a campaign issue.
Y'all gonna make
I
it.
guarantee you that.
Because I saw you at the halftime at the football game on
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
doing your thing.
Yeah.
so
I mean,
guess
that's how important it is to this community.
That's what I told Eric.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we talk about, local control. It's like, do you want to be community controlled or do you want to be controlled by politics?
Mm-hmm.
I know what I prefer, Adam.
Oh yeah, you got me.
well, so I guess that answers her question. What will happen with the rates and all?
Well,
Nobody really knows. I
would,
guess.
if telecom is sold off to a private company, I can tell you what'll happen.
Okay.
They're going to make their money back. Private companies are going to do everything they can to make that money back.
Which would be increased rates.
That's increased rates.
Yeah.
At minimum, it'd be their rates, their normal rates. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's Leslie McShane's question.
Okay.
What will change in service and local access? with
Well, first of all,
telecom
higher
service
costs,
spectrum.
long-term contracts. We don't have long-term contracts. No locally based
What do you mean
customer
long-term
service.
contract?
Yeah, you can.
Like AT&T, when they first did their fiber over in Silver Lake, it was like you get a rate for the first 12 months, and then after that it
And then it
increases.
goes
Creep it up
back.
again.
It shoots up. Yeah.
Promotional rates.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But
And-
they
and
want
you
you to
have to watch
sign.
that
They
fine
want you. To,
print.
they want to lock you in.
Right.
So we don't have that. I mean, I have disagreed with that because I think we need to lock people in, especially if we're going to try to be competitive.
Right.
So we offer a discount if you lock in for 12 months. Otherwise, you can just sign on with us and leave whenever you want to,
Right.
and then come back later. Yeah.
And we've done that when we moved buildings and
Right.
our business. I make a phone call
Yeah.
and the guys in IT say, yeah, we get that done. Just tell us when you're going to be over there. We'll turn it up.
Yeah.
And it's
Again.
pretty easy.
So no locally based customer service like we have now. You've talked about it.
Right.
I mean, we have customers who know our guys by first name. They
Might
can
even
just call
have,
them.
might even have a few phone numbers.
I'm sure you
Might,
do.
might, yeah.
Adam, my stuff's not working.
Absolutely.
Call someone.
That would be gone.
Right.
Limited service call times.
Right. I mean,
Because
it would.
they don't. I mean, again, we're 24/7.
Yeah.
Private companies don't do that.
Right.
You're not going to have public meetings. You're not going to have open records. You don't have access to their budgets or how much money they're making.
And it would affect the electric and water rates in a way that
That's the
the
second.
administrative side of these three lines of business, if you don't let employees go, you still have the administrative overhead of customer service reps, finance department,
Yeah.
and those would reflect in the electric and
Yeah.
water rates.
So I guess your three business entities probably do share resources
Administrative
in that.
Right.
costs.
And we
But,
break
but
them
we'll
down.
get to that because you're still on a roll on.
No, I mean that.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
again, besides,
I
and
didn't
then
want to stop your
all
flow.
of that, and then they lose cable 10, which is a community treasure, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
You can do like we're doing this, broadcast live.
yeah. Well,
But
we wouldn't, we
but
wouldn't
you
be able
also
to pay those people.
but you also well that's true too. But you all also have a lot of archives and stuff.
all the cable 10
All the
archives.
Cable 10
I
archives
went
are out
back.
there.
They handed me a DVD the other day of me in my junior year high school play,
Oh wow!
and that was in 1987.
Yeah.
And I have it on DVD.
Had it been
now.
colorized by Technicolor yet?
So, I mean, it's things like
It ain't
that.
that
We've
bad,
had
Eric.
people call and say, "Do you have this baseball game from 1992?" And we're like, "Yeah,
Yeah, somewhere.
yeah." But
And you
so
can
that's
find
that.
it. You can find it. Y'all got an index where you can
Oh, they
find
have been archiving like crazy.
Okay.
I love our cable 10
Yeah.
crew. They're the best.
They're good.
Anyway,
See, I was
so
saying,
when all of this is happening, meanwhile, our FPB, our current FPB customers who are electric and water, they're gonna see higher rates too.
right?
Because the administrative costs of running the business, as he said, that's accounting, IT, customer service, call center, those are going to have to be absorbed by the other
By
two
By
lines
two.
of
So
So
business. rather
you're
than
looking
three.
at at least a 33% cost increase
Yeah.
for those people,
Well, we know it's 34.
right?
I have it in my notes, Craig.
Hey, I didn't say nothing. I'm letting y'all talk.
34.29%.
There you go.
Clay Baxter wants to know if you know when the Heritage is going to have next band.
They're actually, we were talking about that this morning in a meeting. I would say around the first of the year, actually. I think we were talking about the first of doing some splicing over in the Heritage. That's our cable node 37, over by the hospital. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I think it's around the
that's
first of the year.
fiber.
I think
That's
they're.
fiber.
We have a customer over there that's having some issues, and we're really wanting to get them over to fiber. So yeah, that was brought up in a meeting this morning. So.
So much easier to support. You either have light or you don't have light.
Well, this customer, he's been a great customer. He has an electrical issue in his house,
yeah.
and he basically his house got flooded. He had a plumbing issue that flooded his house, and he's actually has some static voltage that comes back on our plant, and he has shut down a lot of businesses over there. So we have to, pretty much disconnect
house?
the one house, yeah.
Dang.
And so, and he's spent a lot of time, we spent a lot of time, but we're trying to get him taken care of. So that's why it was fresh on my mind, is because that's one customer we would like to get fixed.
Get fixed.
We don't have that problem with fiber. So
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The the board meetings, they're on Cable 10 and on your Facebook page.
YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
not
Yeah.
Facebook.
They used to be on Facebook. We've moved it all to YouTube
So
because you can watch it and stop it and
Rewind
rewind
it
it while
fast
it's live.
forward.
can you get notifications when you're how do people know the meeting? Like when the city commission fiscal court, I get notified
Yeah.
on my phone. Does the same thing work with Plantboard?
Yeah, I
When
think
you're
it
having
still
your board
gives you
meetings?
Facebook notification,
does.
but it just sends you
And
to
it sends
YouTube.
you to YouTube.
Right. I mean, but
Yeah.
so you can get notified off of YouTube.
Sure. Yeah.
That you're,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, I didn't know how many people were doing that.
Yeah.
Every time we advertise we're having somebody on, we always tell them to go. We detail Eric typed up and details out the process
There you go.
to get them to get the automatic notifications.
Yeah.
Got another question. Stephanie asked, if telecom were to be sold off, is there any way that we would be guaranteed that the electric and water wouldn't be sold off?
No, that's another great question. Because then it's almost like a domino. It's like, oh, they're for sale. They're selling off their lines of business.
Yeah, I think in the interview that y'all
Yeah,
had
with
with
y'all.
Dr.
I think
Stratton. Dr. Stratton's one who
Gary
brought that.
Stratton wrote
He
it
wrote the article. It was like a day after.
Senator Williams actually made
Williams.
the comment too
when
about
he was
selling.
here.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
he
that he
did.
had spoken with the city commissioners and some might be interested in doing that.
about doing something with Woodford and Anderson.
No,
was
actually,
Well, that's
sell
sewer.
That's
Yeah,
regional
that's a
sewer.
regional
That's
sewer
regional sewer.
project.
Now,
That's right.
this
That's gonna
was,
that's
talking
regional
about selling off our electric.
Uh-huh.
to
That was
KU.
that was Dr. Stratton saying.
Yeah, but Senator
Part of
Williams
it.
said it here too.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he?
He did.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I remember.
did.
I remember Gary because I called Gary.
At
about it.
32
And then
minutes.
also the water.
Right. Yes.
We got Kentucky American
just, yeah.
or Louisville
Like a
Water. Or
corporate
whoever.
rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it'd almost be like a free for all. And if that happens, I mean, and our community has had no say about it whatsoever, I would be up in arms.
Yeah, it'd be like a corporate raider coming in, buying the
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
and then selling off parts.
Do you know how lucky this community is to have a public utility?
And that's something I want to reiterate again. We've already talked about it,
Yeah.
but we've got more people come in.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people do not realize that that you guys are ratepayer owned.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, everybody.
tax money.
Everything I've always heard since I've been here is
Yeah.
it's a pseudo government entity.
We don't use taxpayer
Quasi
dollars.
governmental.
Quasi, yeah.
That's what we were
Yeah.
at Farmdale Water District.
Yeah.
Quasi government.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to spell it.
Yeah. Like, and I surely didn't know how to Google it, right? It's like, what does this even mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you're basically selling off public assets.
Yeah, that's totally what it is. And and again, when we talk about any money that we have, if we're not putting it back into the system, it's going back to our customers because it's their money.
Okay, I want to ask you. You're a nonprofit. You don't make profit,
Correct.
and it's a tax thing. You don't make profit. You do have excess cash at the end of the year, and most nonprofits store that as cash reserves. You have to have rated A funds.
Yeah.
We do.
You have to have
I have those notes too.
you have to have projects or plans for
capital
projects.
projects.
That,
things
because
like
just
Okay.
because you don't make profit doesn't mean there's
Yeah.
not $40 million in the bank.
Well, let me tell you what we do
So,
with our money.
tell.
We have we set rates to cover. We have 4 pillars of revenue
Mm-hmm.
requirements. One of them is operating and maintaining expenses to operate and maintain. The second is capital investment in electric and water and telecom infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the projects. Debt service on bonds and loans taken out for the large infrastructure projects. And then we are required to have a certain amount of reserves, cash reserves. And, you know, because we have to have the ability to fund unanticipated costs, like when we have natural disasters, a pandemic.
Or the water line on Wilson Boulevard when it blew up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you want so
And it's required for bond rating.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to have, you know, a typical range is 90 to 100 days of operating and maintenance expenses on hand.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but typically that means if you had $0 coming in, not one penny coming in, you could operate 120 days or
Right.
90
or
days.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest bond ratings require
That includes your
above 150 days.
and that includes servicing those bonds. It includes paying your employees,
Yes.
maintenance, and
Yes.
what you have.
Yeah.
So you're talking several $1 million
Yeah.
just to pay people for that long
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And to run the business.
and to run.
Keep people in
The
service.
March storm. Do y'all remember the windstorm came in March?
Yes.
That was a $500,000 storm.
It costs you.
$500,000.
Is that what like the repairs?
Yes.
So one little storm come through, $500,000 gone.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, we can't just be writing checks to people
Right.
because
Right.
we have extra money. It's not extra
Right,
money.
right.
We're required to
the,
have
the
it.
city commission's got an almost $18 million surplus.
Yeah.
But they really don't.
Yeah.
Because they've got to have rainy day funds.
Yeah.
At about $13 million. So
I mean, and I wouldn't say that we don't do stuff for the city. We do. We have a lot of in-kind services that we do. You want to talk about those? You want me to?
Yeah, you go ahead.
somebody, let me think for a second. Somebody asked me,
I mean,
said one of the school systems wanted a project done, and they came to y'all. What the heck? Somebody sent me that today.
There are some things that we have to follow our tariff on, and that's another thing. We have a tariff that we have to abide by. Anything that we do, if we're going to do something outside of the tariff, then there has to be a board meeting, public comment. Anytime we change the tariff, we have to have a public hearing.
right.
Again, that's what local control is.
Right.
If people don't like that, they have to come in and tell us, you know, why.
It was something with the county schools because I tried calling Superintendent Kopp on the way
Okay.
over here today.
Yeah.
Something about a $6,000 project,
Okay.
and they came to y'all. I don't know what the project was.
Was that about the water
Water
fountains?
fountains?
That was a long time ago. I
Yeah,
know
because
that.
that was $6,000,
Oh,
and
was it?
they
Maybe
did
that's
end up
what it
getting their
was.
water fountains, by the way.
That was those water that.
That
Eric-
was my little project.
Okay, that was
and
what
they
those
have those.
those water bottle things you said you had. What's it called? What were they called? Because they had a label on.
Oh,
it.
Frankfurt on Tap.
Frankfort
Yeah.
on
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
the Frankfort on
yeah,
tap, but
okay.
we
That was
provided
promoting their water
funds,
services.
Yeah, funds for water fountains and bottle fillers in
all
the
the
schools.
schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that.
So they did end up
They
getting
did. We did that. We provide.
I know we changed stadium lighting. We help them
Yeah.
with that because we have
I've
the
got a
trucks
list.
and the
And
ability.
didn't y'all-
Street light installation, street light maintenance, Capitol View ball field lights,
what I was gonna
Christmas
say.
decorating, downtown banners, fire hydrant maintenance, dark fiber, Ethernet, and broadband media services staff time. We put their sewer billing on our bill. People think that we do the sewer. We do not.
Same thing, Farmdale Water District. They thought we
just put it
were
on
the
our
sewer,
bill.
just water only.
As a service to the city.
Yeah, because I remember I was going to say the ball field lights.
Yeah.
Because softball died here in Frankfort, so
Yeah.
I contacted Commissioner Waldridge.
Yeah.
And said at night the ball games, the left field and right field, you couldn't see the players. Right.
Yeah.
So she said that y'all came out and put the lights in over the winter.
Yeah.
And then the next summer we had 14 tournaments.
Yeah.
Which brought a lot of money into
Yeah.
the city. Yeah.
So there are certain things that we do. I mean, and that
Who would somebody contact for that to ask for help for something like that? You know, if they needed a bucket truck, because
Yeah.
They don't have a bucket
We
truck.
work with the city on that and DFI on that
I mean,
kind of
would they
stuff.
call you all, or would they call the city commissioners, or
It depends on what the project is. Yeah.
there's no single point of contact or nothing?
Well, I mean, what are you talking about?
I mean, if they need a project like
Who does?
well, let's say the ball field lights need to be changed out to LED at Lakeview, which they're going to do.
Yeah.
I guess they call
at
the electric
Lakeview, they
department.
would probably call the fiscal court because that is under the fiscal court,
Mm-hmm.
county parks. And
So they'd work with their local government people.
Absolutely.
Then they would reach
And
out
then
to
they
you
would
all.
reach out to us. Yeah,
That's what I was getting at.
right, okay.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Were you talking about a government, or were
Yeah.
you talking about you need a light
I thought
bulb
you were
at your
talking
house?
about-
Change
yeah.
Christmas lights in your house, or
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at too.
You were all over the place.
Yeah. But we spend, upwards of $750,000 a year in in-kind contributions just to the city alone.
I bet most people didn't know that because I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah.
No, I
knew
wouldn't
it
have thought
was
so
some.
either.
Yeah.
I knew it was some, but I didn't know it was that
Yeah.
high.
Yeah. I mean, we're proud of that. We're happy to do that because we're part of this community. And that's something that we want to do stuff like that. We do stuff for DFI. Anytime they ask us to do it, we're there. I know they're talking about wanting to put festival lights outside down at St. Clair Mall. We have helped them, we gave them money to purchase lights. We've had our electric superintendent down there to look at how they could be hung. So that's an
Is that
ongoing.
on St. Clair? Mm-hmm. Okay, I remember.
They have not been hung yet, but we have been in that.
Kind
has
of like
been
what
in the
Lawrenceburg
works.
does. Kind of like what Lawrenceburg does.
Yeah, isn't that great?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That I think that's what spurred the interest in Frankfort.
Yeah.
Was how Lawrenceburg does their downtown.
Yeah.
And I know, the commission's been trying to figure out how to get the lights across St. Clair Mall.
Right.
Yeah, down there.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I know Patricia started that too.
Okay.
And I just didn't know how far it had progressed. But it would if it looks anything as good as Lawrenceburg does.
That looks so good, doesn't it?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They're downtown. I mean, it's one street, but
Yeah.
they do a heck of a job.
Yeah.
didn't they have their prom down there?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, that's
That-
where I seen
Yeah.
some of the pictures
Yeah.
was from their prom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that on my Facebook page. It was a hot topic.
Let's see. You guys provide Wi-Fi downtown, don't you?
We have
Public Wi-Fi?
the community Wi-Fi. We have zones down Old Capitol front lawn, along Broadway, Riverview Park. Some of the other parks, what are they?
East Frankfort, we did some in East Frankfort, some in Lakeview. Lakeview, that we're doing a little bit more, but I know they're talking about doing some renovation at Lakeview, so we paused that. We do Todd Park and Bell Point, and the park that they just redone down in South Frankfort, Dolly Graham.
Dollar Graham,
Yeah, we provide
free broadband down
free
there
broadband,
too.
yeah.
Well, and I didn't know you guys did that. And I was downtown with my wife, and I looked up on the telephone pole and I saw the access point. Me being the geek that I
They was
am,
like, yeah.
because I normally keep my Wi-Fi off.
Yeah.
And I turned it on. I said, I never knew, and there it was.
There it was.
And then another question was the charging stations. You all have put those in.
The EV charging stations, we installed those. We purchased those and installed them. And right now, the city,
Is paying the
they flipped the bill for those.
And what is that? I'm not aware of. What
Electric vehicle charging
The-
stations.
Oh yeah, I know about
We
that.
have 3. We're getting ready to put in another one. It's a fast
The
charge.
sheriff's office is wanting one. I know.
So,
Okay.
Fast charge.
Yeah.
and how much do those cost to use?
They're free.
Like if I have an electric vehicle, I
You
can
can
charge
go-
my car for free.
Yes, sir.
No wonder there's a
wanna-
car plugged into one every time I go buy one.
If you want to wait 4 hours to get it charged up,
I don't think it.
Well, they tried to
I
put
think it's
them. They
relatively
tried to put
fast.
them in areas where people would have other things. That's why they wanted. They've got 2 downtown, so you can park,
Yeah.
go do your downtown stuff, shop, eat, drink, whatever.
and the sheriff wanted one, and he said it would be monitored
Yeah.
at his place.
It's over there by the bank. Which
I've not
bank
even
is
seen
that?
them. I've not even seen them.
Whitaker Bank.
Whitaker Bank.
Yeah.
Between Whitaker Bank and the train, the
Olive
depot.
Train
Depot, yeah.
The
Olive
train
Court's
depot.
what it's
Okay.
called. And then we have one over at the Farmers Market.
Farmers Market.
Anybody
At
mess with
Riverview
them yet?
Park.
Anybody mess with them yet? Are they?
No, as far as I know.
Like the one there behind Whitaker Bank will charge 2.
Okay.
I
yeah.
think it's got 2 on it.
Yeah.
I don't know about the one.
Yeah, I think
one
it's
at
two
Farmers Market.
Market
Yeah.
too.
And then there's one more. I can't remember where it is.
No, I can't either.
I'm just
Well, there's
always
another one.
I'm just always in those 2 areas, so
Yeah.
I know they're there. So if you have an electric vehicle and you need a charge,
Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe it is. I can't remember.
can't
They were talking about Jennifer Hills. So I don't know.
John
But we have the
Higgins.
water fountains there.
Hey, John,
I'm sure their Tesla knows where the chargers are, though.
Yeah.
John Higginbotham's on, so y'all watch what you say.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
I was bragging on you earlier.
He was.
So he's taking good care of us at Farmers Bank. So
So, I mean, I can just go back and say a couple of things, too. I know in response to Senator Williams when he was here, he was talking about riding the technology wave and when to get out. And he kept using the term, sell out to the big guys. And that's exactly how I see it would be. It's a sellout. Cashing in is selling out this community. So he talks about looking for the wave and riding the wave. And then, when you can make the most money is when you cash out. Mm-hmm. For us, that's not our business. We're not in it to make money.
We're in it to provide a
we're in it
service.
to provide a service. And that's what it's about. We're a nonprofit. We're not in it to make money. Our priority is our ratepayers and keeping rates stable and affordable while we provide superior service and the most reliable service.
well,
That's our goal.
We were talking with Commissioner Waldridge before this, and she brought up a really good point. I thought, in this pie in the sky, $100 million offer,
Yeah.
minus debt
Yeah.
and obligations,
Yeah.
whatever sum you get,
Yeah.
that's a one-time dip.
It is.
Right.
It is. It is a short-term gain,
For a long
well, long-term loss. People in our community would be feeling that loss for years.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Because again, I mean, we have people in our community right now who can't afford their bills now.
Right.
We work with them every day, and when you talk about selling out to a private company,
And you work with them as a company, as an entity.
yes, yeah. I mean, we work. I mean, we do payment plans. I've seen people come in and not be able to pay their bills, and our customer service reps, if they're $20 short, they'll all go in their purses and get up enough money for somebody to cover their bill, and that is no lie. It happens
And that is
because
and,
we're
that
a
is
community. That's what
Right.
we do.
and we have and I guess the winter care goes to
Winter care. We have the winter
Yeah.
care program. We offer power certificates, which is if you know somebody who needs help, you can come in and purchase a power certificate. If you're looking for a Christmas gift, people,
Yeah, I've not heard of that either.
yeah.
where you can it's almost like a gift certificate to the Frankfort Plantboard, and you can do it in somebody else's name to help take care of their bills.
Now I know Bluegrass Community Action does a lot of that stuff too. Do you all work directly with them?
We do,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
There are administrator people who do
Who do
our
that,
winter
who
care
work.
program.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it helps link you to
We do
people who
work with
need
them,
help.
yeah.
But the bottom line on that is it's still an in-kind gesture from the plant board oftentimes that's
Right.
providing that payment plan or flexibility to pay or
Absolutely.
donation
Absolutely.
from other ratepayers who add $10 on their winter care
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we do. That's another thing. We do a roundup program. I do that. A lot of times when people, like if you're in the grocery or at Target, and they say, "Do you want a roundup for the Ronald McDonald House or whatever?" And you're putting in 14 cents or whatever.
Right.
You can do that on your electric bill just to even out your bill. Like if your bill's $179.92, you can round up to $180.
Well,
How many
all that money
do you know residential electric payers you have?
19,000 comes to mind. I could be wrong, but I think it's 19,000.
And there's a challenge for everyone.
Yeah.
Put in $5 on your next bill.
Yeah.
John's got a
That's
question.
$100,000 that will go to help
Okay.
people who can't.
Yeah. Absolutely.
John's got a question.
John,
John.
I tuned in late. It's okay, John.
That don't surprise me.
Has anyone provided all the benefits to the citizens of selling off Frankfort Plantboard services? I seriously want to understand the logic because it's absolutely counter to the proliferation of municipal broadband and exploding across the county.
Yeah, we did talk about that, John.
We did, John.
We
Thanks.
did. Yeah. Come back and rewatch.
We did, and it's
They did a really good job of going into that, John.
and again one of those things where when Senator Williams was here, and he talks about the difference between electric and water and broadband, and he says those are different. I disagree. I don't think they're different at all. Electric and water are utilities. I think broadband is now a utility. It is an essential service
Well,
that
we-
everybody needs to
Improve
succeed.
it during
And you know, to
coronavirus.
prove that, to back and prove what you just said, if it's not an essential utility, why is the state of Kentucky giving out millions,
Yeah.
millions every
Yeah.
year?
The example, you know, a real world example, Frank's grandkids, my brother-in-law, his ex-brother-in-law, they live over in Grafenberg.
Yeah.
Terrible internet coverage. So they're doing their school. They come over to our house every day, every morning to do the online school classes while all the schools were closed.
Yeah.
Because and so how many kids we see now, how many kids didn't have access to it and how far behind they are.
Exactly.
So that's why I think it doesn't, I don't care, it doesn't matter what the cost is.
Yeah.
Every home in Franklin County should have internet.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And I know that fiscal court and you all went back and forth over those
Did
800.
you see their meeting last week?
Yeah, the 880 homes and the 2,000 that they say don't
Yeah.
have it.
We're doing the 884 homes.
You all said they didn't communicate with you all. They said you all didn't communicate with us.
I
Where
know.
where are we at on that?
We're good.
All good?
We are
We're just
all
doing
good.
the 808. What
We're
about the other
doing the
1,200
884.
or the 1,116? What about those houses?
There's money coming out that we hope
Yeah, we'll see where we
any
land.
providers are going to be able to apply for that BEAD money.
I mean, just like the grants
So
we
I'm
applied
not
for.
worried.
Yeah, I mean, the grants we applied for, anybody could apply.
Yeah.
So is there hope that eventually those other 1,116 people will get
Absolutely.
get fiber?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and just
Okay.
he made a comment. I just kind of want to do an apples to apples comparison. He made a comment about Synergy building their that's electric cooperative in Western Kenergy in Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
That they built their fiber network at a cost of $3,000 per home passed, and then the assumption was the 884. That's about $14,700 per home passed.
Right.
But if you look at apples to apples, so if you look at our overbuild, which is basically what Kenergy is doing, their electric service, so they're just doing over their existing service. If we do the math, I did the math today, just on average, I'm not done, so it's not exact, but I'm coming up with somewhere around $2,600 per home pass to cover all of Franklin County. So
The whole
that's-
county?
The whole county. But the issue is 90-something% of the county is done. We're trying to get that last 8%. That last 8% is what's driving the
I'm in the
$14,000.
8%.
No, you're in the 90-something% because we're overbuilding you. You have service today. I'm talking about
because
the 8%
that
that
have
does not have
neither-
nothing.
that
It's-
neither have
yeah, it's
broadband.
1,975, right at 2,000 customers.
Yeah, and it's like getting water to not everybody in Kentucky's got fresh water or potable water, whatever the term is.
Yeah.
And they're working hard to
Drinkable.
get drinkable water. And they're getting hard to that too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so
Same concept, right?
this is the last 8%.
and that's going to be the toughest because
They're the
because of
farthest out.
hills.
There was some discussion about 5G, and that's just not applicable in those areas. I mean, the terrain is not in Franklin County. The terrain is not going to lend itself well. The propagation, the distance. Yeah,
And there's a
that's-
lot of places in the county that 5G will cover. But if you're out here thinking that 5G is going to be a miracle cure, make a phone call from there first.
Exactly.
And then come back and talk to me about 5G.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it doesn't, internet doesn't work driving Glenns Creek Road
Right.
from Frankfort to Versailles. I know it doesn't work there.
'Cause you're-
Doesn't work out. Yeah,
It's all over your head.
right.
Yeah.
Doesn't work far out in Bald Knob.
River Valley Road. Go down the River
River-
Valley. There's
right,
a
River
dead spot on
Valley
River
doesn't-
Valley. Down at the Forks of Elkhorns, right as you cross, just before you get to Tammy's, there's a dead spot there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
So
yeah. Because right after
I don't know a lot about 5G, but I mean, from what it's not as fast or reliable as fiber.
it
Correct?
doesn't go
No,
as far, right?
it's
fast.
It's
It's-
fast, but when you get into that speed, so 5G, they're running out about a gig. But to get to that gig, you got to use milliwave frequencies.
Like
The
my-
a raindrop is bigger than that frequency. So
Right.
it's gonna have rain fade
See,
like
Cathy,
you wouldn't believe.
My phone says it's 5G, but
Yeah.
it really,
That's a good marketing ploy.
It really ain't. Yeah, it's not 5G.
Mine,
Yeah,
does-
I mean-
mine says LTE.
I mean, if
we'll
you're
see
looking
that.
at the
Well, that might be your phone. Might not be 5G.
I've seen 5G on
What
it
model?
before.
What model is that?
What do you mean?
What model
What
phone?
kind of phone do you have?
iPhone 14.
14. Oh, no, it would
You
be
should
5G.
have it.
You should be getting.
But I mean, those are some of the issues.
Yeah,
And
that's
that-
just marketing right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
pretty
I know it's not getting 5G.
I don't know of any. There was AT&T tried to do 5G in Silver Lake. I don't know if y'all remember that, but the Silver Lake residents, because the 5G, you need an antenna about every 500 feet.
Yeah, because 5G is a shorter run.
Yeah,
right?
for the wide, for the 24 gigahertz to get the gig speed they're talking about. Yeah, the range is really short.
Because like 5 gigahertz, Eric or Adam, it's like a mile or something like that, right at a mile.
Yeah, like you're talking about the
Like for 4G.
Yeah,
for a
4G.
run,
For a run.
runs up to about 6
Well,
gigahertz.
you're conflating Wi-Fi
yeah,
5 gigahertz.
I just read that somewhere.
No, because you're using the same frequencies as cell, and like AT&T uses GSM 800. What does Verizon use? CDMA? Do they still use CDMA?
See, Kathy, this is why I just call Eric.
That's why I brought Adam.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's
So it's not apples to apples, but but he's right on short. The shorter the wavelength frequency,
The shorter the run.
well, that and the easier it is to stop it.
yeah.
Like
I mean, foliage.
foliage.
Yeah.
And we had that, at Farmers Bank, we used radios that was on bald knob up on the top,
Yeah,
the tower that everyone used. We had radios on that went to Versailles, and if it rained or if the dew was heavy on the trees, done.
Couldn't get it.
Couldn't get anything.
and so those are obstacles that 5G is going to have, especially the higher speeds.
Like satellite. If you got a satellite dish,
right. Well, I
it
mean,
won't go through a tree.
right. I mean, we have 5-meter dishes at the head end, and we have rain fade, and we're running at 4 gigahertz.
Right. I see. That's where it pixelates on your
Yeah,
TV.
and that's something
Just during
that's,
heavy rain.
16-foot diameter. So
you get a lot of phone calls when that occurs?
yes.
Because it's always right during the UK ball
Oh,
game, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, it's always something like that. Yes.
The CEO used to get so mad at United Bank. He'd call and say, "We don't have any communications." He said, "Wait till the dew leaves." And I don't want to hear that. I don't care what you want to hear.
Call Mother Nature.
I don't care what you want to hear. And I'd call him back about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Hey, is it better? Yeah.
Works great.
Yeah. Dew's gone.
Yeah, that's amazing. So,
Well, I think we've probably covered about everything we need. I got one more thing for closing.
okay.
And do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Well,
Now-
I'll thank
Okay.
David Columbia for everything he does. David's amazing.
He's great.
Been there a long time. I've done a lot of things with him, or I just call him up and ask him a question.
Yeah.
And David's cool as can
Well,
be.
great. We need to keep David Columbia in a job.
Yeah.
So that's why we can't lose telecom.
At least
And when John was there, John was very reachable too.
Yes.
So I had never met Adam
Yeah.
before.
So and again, I can't say it enough, and I'm not trying to put a scare factor into people or whatever. This is a very serious issue for people, for this community. They need to be paying attention because they're
Hold on.
okay.
Because you're going right where I want you to go.
Okay. Semi-pro.
So, I know, right? You act like you've done this before. So, everyone, we've issued a challenge. If you're a Frankfort Plantboard ratepayer, put $5 in on your winter care in your next bill.
There you go.
You're going to help hundreds and hundreds of people that are your neighbors
Because
in
we're
Franklin
getting
County.
ready to enter that time.
Because we're entering that time where that demand is going to go up.
The season of giving.
That's right. And $5, that's one cup of overpriced coffee.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Barely.
And in closing, we did have someone ask, what can we do? What does the Frankfort Plantboard need us as ratepayers to do? And that's why I stopped you, because you're headed right perfectly where we need to close this up.
Well, we have our communications campaign right now is I want my FPB. And you can go
Send a
to,
couple of those hashtags.
yeah, I want my FPB.com as a webpage you can go to. I think you have seen it.
Yeah.
And it just gives a little, I mean, right now we don't really know what we're up against until we see legislation. We don't know where the mayor and city commission are on what they support and what they don't support. So we just need our mayor and city commission and Senator Williams, if you want, we need them to know that our community does support the plant board. They do enjoy being owners of a public utility because that could be taken away. And it will negatively impact this community. I mean, it'll negatively impact the plant board as a company, the people who work there. I mean, at least 70 people would lose their jobs, and that's people who work here in our city. We can talk about occupational taxes, but I won't. Maybe we'll come back next time. But it's serious.
Right.
It's not just people coming in here and talking politics and pie in the sky stuff and what we can have. It's a tangible asset that this community will lose if they're not paying attention. And so our mayor and our city commission need to know, they need to hear from this community how much having a public utility means to this community, how much they want the right to vote on whether we are sold or not. That's what it comes down to. That is what this community is about. That's what being a public utility is about. Our community has a say on whether we're sold or not. That is the process that is in place right at this moment. We don't understand why there has to be legislation to change that. And we need our community to tell our city leadership that we don't need legislation to change that, because that's the way it is right now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. It's
I want my FPB.com. But go ahead.
No, you're fine. No, it is serious, and people need to pay attention, because something like this can slip away, and then once you lose it, you never get it back. And we have people that come to Frankfort, and they are tickled with the plant board because they're used to private companies. They're not used to the local presence. The guy that puts your internet in today. If you have a trouble in 2 weeks, it might be the same guy that comes back and works on it. He's the same guy that's going to step you through working your remote control, programming your new TV. It's that local presence that a lot of people, if you've been in Frankfort all your life, you're used to it. But when the people that come in here that's not, they're just like, wow, this is great, so.
That's a really good point. I think that people who've been here all their life don't realize, it's standard
It's the
operation.
norm.
It's the norm.
Right.
Like I'm in KU territory in the Maples. And if somebody from KU came up, I wouldn't know him from Adam. I mean, you either. But
good phrase, Eric.
Good phrase. But anyway.
Sorry, Adam.
No, that's great. Everybody talk to your commissioners. All four of them. They're all at large.
Yep.
You can contact the mayor. You can contact your state representative. Those are the people that need to be contacted as well.
'Cause everything starts in the house.
Yep.
That's right.
And we got two. Dan
two.
Pfister and Derek Graham.
Derek Graham. Let them know. Derek is a community guy.
He is.
He's from here.
He is very
Wear
supportive of
him out.
FPB.
Yes.
Yes.
Wear him out.
We're having Representative Pfister on next Tuesday.
Okay.
Or Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Because if this is going to start with Senator Williams creating a bill, you got two people that will help stop it if it happens to get introduced and put in.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate, ever since we've been talking about it, we've gotten so much support from the community, people emailing, messaging me, what can I do? So, again, besides doing that, if you have any questions about anything, call us, email
Problems,
us.
concerns.
Yeah. We can walk you through
What's y'all's
this.
website?
We're fpb.cc.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Yeah. Again, you can follow us on Facebook at
Follow us on
FEWPB. But yeah, call us 352-4372. You can email any questions that you have, contact at fewpb.com.
Or go to the building and walk in.
You can walk in because we have an office.
and
It's local.
And you're everywhere.
I'm everywhere, but you can email me. I'm C Lindsey. That's CLANDSEY at fewpb.com.
Are you going to be at halftime this Friday?
I believe we are.
Frank County
yeah.
game?
Yeah.
Big game.
Big game. Go Flyers.
Huge
Yeah.
game. Yeah. Can't wait for
So-
that. That's going to be
gonna
great
be a
to
good one.
watch. Yeah.
We appreciate you all having us on tonight.
Yeah,
Again, it's a very important issue that our community needs to be watching.
Well, and we appreciate it too.
Yeah.
Our only goal in doing what we do is to put out accurate information. And, and sometimes getting accurate, you have to get both viewpoints.
Right.
Because we talk pie in the sky
Sure.
numbers. I can tell you whatever number I want until we actually have a number.
Right.
It's all fluff. So
We're happy to come on again.
Yeah, and
Have us all on at the same time. We're happy to do that.
Yeah, we're an extended format where
Right?
the 10 at 10, you just get it, like we talked.
Hey.
That's a few minutes, but we're
Maybe we should have Senator Williams on around 10 and talk about it.
we're extended format, and so we can, we've gone iron 40 minutes, and it's just flew by because y'all supplied so much information to the community.
We're
hour and
happy to do
26.
Iron
That's
20.
what we're here
That's
for.
right.
We
later.
started at 6:15.
Yeah, that's right.
Change the show to around 6.
Yeah, around 6, somewhere around when we feel like it. But anyway,
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys coming
Thank
on
you all.
and providing information for everybody. And I think we got everybody's questions answered, and that was great because we got some live questions, and you guys
Awesome.
were here to
Yep.
answer.
Yeah. Well, thank you again.
Well, you're welcome. We will, if we need to, we'll follow back up.
Please do.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
All good?
You good?
I'm good.
I'm over there.
Huh?
I said I'm over there.